Okay, so let's talk about Cobra Kai and the alternate ending. So, before we go any further, if you have not seen the last 5 episodes of Cobra Kai, make sure you click off the video, go watch them, then come back. I've also got here on the channel a multitude of videos doing reviews and thoughts on the final episodes. I think I'm going to do a few more here and because I enjoy talking about Cobra Kai. I really do love the show. It's going to be one of my favorite shows of all time. It's in my top like 5 favorite shows of all time. And the more I go back and rewatch it, the more things I pick up on. So this is from Jon Hurwitz, one of the 3 writers of Cobra Kai, showrunners Jon Jon Hurwitz, and Hayden Schlossberg. And I actually asked Hayden Schlossberg a question. We're going to get into it now, okay? So spoilers ahead. I asked him if Johnny and Daniel ever found out about Kreese and Silver. And he told me that no, nobody ever found out. Johnny made his peace with Kreese, and Kreese made his peace with Tori, and people, they died out on the yacht in the middle of the ocean, and nobody ever, like, it didn't become like it didn't get back to landfall. So even Sensei Wolf, I guess, never found out. But that was not the original plan. So let's talk about it. So this image right here, right, I want to show you this up close. It's from Valley Monthly. This is a made-up magazine. I said I don't think there's a Valley magazine, but it's about where is Terry Silver in search of the controversial Valley area businessman. This is of course because in episode 14 at the very end, the yacht blew up and he I mean, not presumably, he died along with John Kreese, along with Dennis, but he was killed by John Kreese, obviously because Kreese wanted to stop him from hurting or even, threatening to hurt Johnny's family. So this is what Jon Hurwitz said. I actually hope we do see this as an alternate, like actually on like a Blu-ray or something, because this is pretty cool. He says here, this is the treasured gift from our incredible prop master, Eric Bates. This magazine appears in deleted moment from the finale, a moment that we knew we most certainly wouldn't use in our cut, but that we wanted to have on camera just in case. Spoilers ahead. So I actually think this would have been a cool ending. He says, the final beat of the Sweet Child of Mine montage that ends on the Sports Illustrated? That's the cover that shows Johnny on Sports Illustrated. And Cobra Kai winning the Sekai Taikai. Well, we had the camera drift further down the newsstand to find this other magazine showing that Terry Silver's disappearance was still a mystery in the valley. We even took it a step further and had Martin Cove's hand reach in to pick up the magazine, partly for the 0.00001% scenario that we decided we wanted to imply that Kreese was still alive, but more so just to entertain ourselves, since we always joke around about how Kreese likes to fake his own death. Once we saw what the boat explosion looked like, that minuscule chance we'd use the footage completely disappeared. Yeah, because if you look at the actual explosion, it would have been almost impossible for Kreese to have gotten off of that boat surviving. But this is also Cobra Kai. And there are multiple times in this show where, they kind of bend your suspension of disbelief. They do things that are not very realistic. So I'll be honest, if Kreese did survive, I actually would have been okay with it. I understand that Kreese's sacrifice. Look, here's the thing about that ending, okay? And I'm going to keep reading what he says here. Actually, let me keep reading, then I'll give you my thoughts, because he may say what I wanted to say. But, because there has been some debate about the ending. There are other ways they could have gone with this. We'll talk about it. So, at the end of the day, we wanted our finale to end triumphantly and with credibility, not with an absurd confirmation that somehow John Kreese survived that fiery blast. We wanted Johnny, Daniel, and the rest of the characters on our show to be living in a world where there was no more danger of Silver or Kreese suddenly popping up and messing with their lives again. We wanted a happily ever after, or at least happily until a spinoff, where there are fresh problems to contend with, instead of the same monsters that have wreaked havoc in the Miyagi verse for 40 years. Right, of course. Yes, Cobra Kai never dies, and no, we didn't show the bodies, so I suppose there's no proof that both men are dead. But for the here and now, let's live in a world where there's actual legitimate karate peacetime in the valley, because because that's the story we intended, and it feels so good. So, the reality is, man, that Thomas Ian Griffin did such a good job playing Terry Silver that I would actually, believe it or not, part of me he needed to die. When you're going after like babies and wives, okay, he needed to die, but part of me loved the performance so much. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like how in the past I've talked about Rise of Skywalker, and I've been like, that movie's trash, but man, Ian McDiarmid playing the Emperor, he's so good in every scene. Like, that's called having nuance, folks. That's called not having black or white thinking or all or nothing mentality, which so many people on the internet have, and on YouTube. There are ways you can criticize something but still love it, or there's ways you can love multiple ideas. We're human beings, right? So part of me wants to see him play Terry Silver again, and I'm going to watch all the deleted scenes because there's probably more good stuff with him. Now, my thoughts on this. Part of me did want Kreese to survive and kind of be sort of like a grandfather to the baby, and maybe be like Tori's, sort of like Tori's father figure. I guess Johnny and Daniel are going to be her father figures. That's the thing about this universe. You know, the kids, Miguel, Robbie, they all have multiple. Like Miguel's dad, we saw him in season 5. You know, that's not going to work out, but Johnny is now his dad. You know, and he's also got Daniel there. And Daniel is another positive patriarchal figure, or whatever, paternal figure. That's the word I'm looking for. And so he's got families like these, because they're all friends now. They've got family all over. They've got family potentially in Korea, or in Japan with Chosen, Kumiko. Like, they're okay. They're going to be okay. But like, part of me would have loved it if Kreese somehow survived, right? And did grab the magazine and laugh at it or something. Like, that would have been so beautiful. That would have been so beautiful, but at the same time, you have to understand what they were going for. Kreese made peace with Johnny, signed over Cobra Kai permanently, made peace with Tori, and even he knew he was probably going to die. And the thing is, here's the thing about the Kreese sacrifice. It was very noble because he didn't do it for himself. He didn't do it for his own glory. He didn't do it for his own recognition. He died in the middle of the ocean. Both Silver and Terry died in the middle of the ocean where nobody would find them. And there's actually a fake AI made deleted scene. It's fake, by the way, where Johnny reacts to like the death of Terry and Kreese on TV. And that's like, it's fake though. It's AI made. But I think a lot of people kind of want, like, I think some people would have been okay with Kreese, because, you know, Kreese redeemed himself at the end, but his sacrifice was even more noble because it wasn't about glory. It was about doing the right thing, atoning for his sins by being there for Tori one last time at the Sekai Taikai when she won the title. And it just, I don't know, man. I have a soft spot for old people. And Martin Kove is such a nice guy. Like, and of course, that's not, John Kreese is not Martin Kove. But the point is that I would have loved it. Like, one of the endings I thought they were going to do is that Kreese adopts Tori, you know, and her brother. But it's not the way they went. Tori got a hell of a deal with her martial arts, you know, her victory at the Sekai Taikai. She's a world champion now, so she got that deal. She had a happy ending, right? It's just, I do find it a bit weird that Johnny neither Johnny nor Tori ever hurt. I mean, it's peacetime, yes, but wouldn't it give you more peace of mind to know that Terry Silver's actually gone? Like, Johnny's never going to know what Jon did for him, right? And that's sad, but it's also, it shows that Kreese himself wasn't looking for that glory. He was just looking to do the right thing. So, there's different ways to look at this, man. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you think that they could have done an alternate ending with, like, do you prefer this where they showed like Kreese's hand grabbing the magazine? Like, would you have been okay with that, or are you okay with them dying? Like, I really want to read the comments on this video. I may even do a follow-up in the comments about it because it's so damn cool. Anyways, man, take care. See you real soon.